Dear brothers and sisters, so as we gather here for this weekend, we've been always trying to understand the spiritual path better. As many of you are aware, the teachings of the great saints have been there with us for thousands of years. And the path is practiced in all different parts of the world. And so people with different cultures and different backgrounds are those who adhere to the teachings of the spiritual path. And so many times as we focus our attention on trying to put the path for our own goodness, we find that because things culturally might be different for us, our faiths might be different, we try to understand how to put the spiritual path in our lives so that we would be helped. And so questions arise. And so we try to address a few of them because the question of one person generally answers the questions of many, many others. And so let us address some of the questions which came this week.
How can we focus better in meditation?
Meditation is a process by which we are stilling the body and are stilling the mind. So stilling the body is easy. We find a quiet place to sit down to meditate. We don't change the atmosphere. We're not going to be eating at that time. We make sure no part of our body touches the person next to us, and we close our eyes. So that is very easy to do. But as soon as we close our eyes, we're bombarded by thoughts. And so we need to understand where the thoughts are coming from, what is the purpose of the thoughts. And once we understand that, then we'll be able to deal with them in a manner that they're not distracting us. Many people in this country, especially in other countries too, are pulled in towards games. So what is very interesting is the game is between two teams. And if you look at the teams, then you have some team which is attacking and something which is defending. And so you have a few people who are attacking, they want to go to the other side, they want to get a goal or whatever, or a hoop. And then there are the defenders who are defending that team. So the job of the attacking team is to try to score as many points as they can, as many goals as they can, as many hits as they can. And the job of the defending team is to get them out quickly if we're playing cricket or baseball, or to be able to stop them from getting more runs so that they don't get that many. And so when you think of that, think of meditation as being a game. So it's a game between our soul and our mind. So meditation is not passive, which is many people think you close your eyes and you're just passively sitting to do meditation. Is being active. The mind is like a defense mechanism. Its purpose is that we do not get to connect with God. Its purpose is that the soul be entangled in other activities of the world. And so it's going to put whatever mechanism it knows to be able to put into play so that the soul doesn't get to its goal. Okay. Now, when you watch these games in the world outside, there's a coach. So there's a coach on the offense team which is teaching them how to offense and what to do. They regular players on the board, they do all this thing, you go here, you go here, you go here. And they're coaching them, right? And so there's a coach on the defense team which is saying, oh, they might be coming here, so let's do this thing to block them so that they don't get to their goals. Okay. So the coach for our soul in this world as we meditate is our spiritual master who's guiding us. How do we get to our goals? See? We've been taught the mechanisms okay, we need to do simran. We've been told that simran is going to be able to get us towards our goal. It's going to stop all the other defense mechanisms that come in our direction. And the universal mind, which is the coach for the mind, is telling us, hey, let's think of new ways of sending thoughts to these guys. You know, if this guy is a happy guy, send him some thoughts to make him happy. Okay? So send him a good thought. Tell him he's going to achieve something, or he or she is going to achieve something, and they're going to be, let's say someone likes to travel, oh, send him a thought about going to Hawaii or something. And, you know, so the coach there is training the mind. Okay, I'm giving you all these plays, so you see what this soul is going to try to do, and you come up with that kind of a thought so that you attract the soul into the thought and it doesn't get to the goal. Okay. So if you remember this analogy, whenever you sit to meditate, first thing is you need to understand it's active. So actively you want to look, your focus needs to be straight. You don't need to be distracted. Okay? And the thoughts, which is a mechanism by the defense team to keep us from getting to our goal, are going to come to us. There will be thoughts which will be elating us. There will be other thoughts which will be which bring sadness into our life. And you know, those any kind of thoughts, there could be thoughts about what we did yesterday, thoughts about what we are going to be doing tomorrow. There's any thought is a distraction. So you have to learn how to deal with them. Okay. So our coach is telling us that the best way to deal with thoughts is to strengthen our simran, or our repetition of the holy names of God. Okay. Just like when you're playing, your coaches are telling us, okay, we want you to train like this, we want you to run this much, we want to lift this many weights, we want to do these kind of exercises, and we want to concentrate. And actually, in this day and age, a lot of these coaches are telling their teams to meditate, because you concentrate better and you can perform better. So the coach is trying all kinds of things to win, right? That's the job of the coach, to train the team so they win. So our coaches are telling us that concentration in being able to repeat these names of God without having to giving it any attention is the key. Our 100% attention should be in our focus in front, so that we can connect with the divine light and sound of God. And to do that, we use the power of the mind, because the mind which is sending thoughts to us. So rather than worry about the thought, let's go to the mind and use its power. So the mind has a certain amount of power, and that power can be used to send thoughts to us, which are going to be distracting us. And we say, we are going to take the power of the mind and focus it on God. Because we want to be with God, we want to experience the light and sound of God. And that we do by taking the power and doing a mental repetition of God's name. And that's what simran is all about, is repeating God's name mentally. So when you do that, then there's no power left in the mind to attack you anymore. So you go to the source of the problem. Because if there's power in the mind, then it can send thoughts to you. But if you've taken the power away from the mind, it doesn't have any power to send thoughts to you. So the key is to be able to use the power of the mind and focus it on God. And when we do that, then we will be getting to our goals. And so we've been asked that all day long, whenever we are not doing any mental activity, let's repeat God's name. So that we are not training the mind, hey, repeating God's name is important to me. I need to do it, and we have to do it. It's going to be good for us. And so the mind is trained. So when you sit to meditate, automatically you'll be able to make your repetition of God's name so strong that the power won't be left in the mind to send thoughts to us. And so that's the key. And so if we understand that, and if we start to, during the day, focus our attention on the repetition of the holy names of God, which are given to us at the time of our holy initiation, then we'll definitely reach our goals.
How can we balance our spiritual goals with our worldly goals?
We live in an age where there are many demands on our time. We all have 24 hours a day. And the spiritual path is asking us to be on our own feet. That means like support ourselves, take care of our families, and all the responsibilities that have been given to us. Responsibility of the family, responsibilities of our communities, we'll be able to take care of them. Okay. So that takes an effort. Most people go to work for about 8 hours a day. Going and coming back in all these big cities in the world might take you an hour or two. And so, close to 11, 12 hours are spent just coming, going, and the lunch hour and all these other things, just to be able to survive. Our spiritual path is saying that we should take care of our responsibilities in the best manner we know how. So we need to be able to make sure that we're supporting ourselves. We don't want to be dependent on someone else. Okay? So our path is not saying that you leave your homes, you leave your society, and you go to the banks of a river or to some monastery or an ashram and just go and do seva there and live there. Our path is not saying that. Our path is saying we have been sent into this world and there's a social structure which is there. So some people get married, some don't, but we are born in a family, so we have parents. Okay, so we have responsibilities in life to our parents, then to our siblings, then if we get married to our spouses, then to our own children, and then we have some responsibilities to the cities where we live in, to communities, to our countries, and then at the global level. Okay? So we should discharge them. So we don't want to negate life. Okay? So our path talks about positive mysticism, which means like we want to excel in all spheres of life to the best of our capability. Making sure that the goal of this existence is to have the soul merge back in God, to get off the wheel of transmigration. Okay? So we need to find time on a daily basis for our spiritual practices. The key is, like, if we feel something's important, then we find time for it. Look at how much time we find to, let's say, be on the social media. How much time do we find to, let's say, watch TV? Yeah. How much time do we find to, let's say, talk on the phone with our loved ones? Okay? So we find times for what we think are important. We find times every day to eat because we feel that's important. And so we find time for things that we think are important. So the key is to recognize that to be able to merge our soul in God takes an effort. It's not going to happen just like this. You have to put in time and effort. And so we need to find time on a daily basis to do that. Okay. Now, when we want to find time for something, we always do it. Whatever else happens. It's a question of how much importance we give to what we want to do. So the first thing to remember is the importance that we need to give to meditative practices. It should be our top priority. Maybe the first thing to do. Generally what happens is we feel so many things are important on a day-to-day work basis that we leave meditation at the end of our to-do list and we never get to it. So this is why from the old times people used to meditate early in the morning, or they've been recommended to do that the first time that you get up. They're the most important thing to do. That you get up in the morning and you meditate and then you do something else. Okay? That was the reason behind meditating early in the morning. Is that it's the most important thing to do when you've done it. At the quietest time of the day, because meditation is coming from times when we didn't have these big buildings and all that stuff. More people were in the villages, and so before the birds would get up, and that's the time which was picked up. Today we live in an age where things are happening 24 hours a day. Okay, jobs could be at night also. And so any time of the day that you feel comfortable is a good time to meditate. The key is to give it importance that it needs to be done. And if you give importance to something, then you will find the time to do it. So we can hit a happy balance. We know that we need to give time to our spiritual practices. So once we put it in our to-do list of things that we want to do as being important, then we will find the time. And so when we will find the time, we will then get a happy balance. That we work and we meditate so that we find the time to support ourselves and divide the time on that basis, but we also focus that the goal, what is the goal in life? Each and every human being comes with the same goal, even though we don't recognize it. Out of the 8.4 million species, the human existence is called the roof and crown of all creation, because we've been given the faculties to know ourselves and to know God. And so these faculties need to be used by us. If we don't use them, and we pass through this life without getting towards a goal, then we'll be back on the wheel of transmigration from one existence to another. So the key is to make sure that we give importance to our meditative practices, and as we give importance to the practices, then we will definitely find the time for them. And as we do that, then we'll see there's a happy balance between our spiritual growth and our work responsibilities.
How can we let go of worries about the future?
Thoughts of tomorrow are also a mechanism of the mind to keep us distracted. Like I was saying before, and the mind is coming up with ways and means to distract us from going towards our goal. Okay. So as soon as we start to meditate, the mind starts to send thoughts to us. It could be good thoughts of something well happening to us, something that we are planning for the future, something that is going to be helpful to our family, maybe more growth, maybe you're planning a construction project. It could be anything which you think will bring happiness to you. So the mind sends thoughts of this might happen, this might happen, this might happen, or let's do this, let's do that. And that's one way it goes. The other thing that the mind does is it starts to send bad vibrations to us. It starts to say, doomsday is coming, okay? And it starts to talking about, we don't know if we'll be healthy, especially as we age. And we see our uncles and aunts, and then as we age even more, we start to see our friends, our school friends, passing away, or someone having some kind of a physical ailment, and we see difficulties come into life. So, the mind might say, oh, you're going to be sick, you might not be able to walk. How are you going to deal with life? Or you might have this problem or that problem, and puts in a spiral where, we get depressed. Now, if you come to think of it, whether the mind has sent us a thought which we think we're doing something good for our happiness, or our mind has sent us a thought which is talking about maybe difficulties coming in our life, so we get depressed. What the mind has done is it has kept us from meditating. Both of those are bad. Okay? So we need to learn how to live in the current moment. Because what is important is the current moment. That's why it's called the present. It's like a gift. It's a gift of God to us. Because it's going to pass away, and if we haven't made use of the gift, it just sit in the closet and you never use it. It's gone. Can't do anything with it. The future, even though sometimes you want to plan for what you think is right for you, is far away. And so, if we don't use this moment properly, then this moment is gone. So we can't help the past anyway. Whatever's happened has happened. Even though we can plan for the future, but we don't know if it will be successful. Okay? All plans are made with good intentions, okay? But the results are unknown to us. You can plan the very best for something, but it's not definite that you'll reach whatever plan you made. Okay? So the future is unknown. And so to waste time about something which is unknown is just wasting your current moments. So the key is to understand that any thought about the future is not going to help you today. And this moment, if it's not put to good use, is going to be wasted. So how do we put this current moment to good use? To make this moment so that we are getting closer to God. That's our goal. Our goal is to be with God. So we need to use every moment, every current moment to be able to get closer to God. And so activities like meditation, number one, is the best thing you can do. Going to satsang, being able to do simran, helping someone, selfless service. These are good things to do because they are bringing us closer and closer to God. Yeah. And so we need to train ourselves to not worry about the future. It's difficult to do, but we should know that God the Creator sent us in this world with a purpose, and the help of the Creator is always going to be with us so that we can reach our goal. And so if God is taking care of our ship, why are we worried about anything? Everything's going to fall into place. There might be times, there's the ups and downs, like you are on the ocean, your ship is going, there are storms in the ocean, the ship is going up and down. But if you have a good pilot, you get to the shore anyway. Okay? So the key is that God is our greatest pilot. There can't be anyone better. And we don't have to worry about anything as long as we have faith in God. Okay. So faith in God needs to be cultivated by us. It doesn't come by listening to someone. It doesn't come by reading a book. It comes through experience. And so how do you experience God? It's through meditation. When you meditate, you rise above physical body consciousness, you connect with the Creator, you connect with God. And as you connect with God, you start to experience God more and more. And it's that experience of God which makes us realize that God is with us 24 hours a day. And once you realize that, then you live your life without fear. Yeah. In the scriptures from the East, it says, Tera bhana meetha lage. Or in the West, it says, sweet is thy will. Now, sweet is thy will is only experienced by us if we get to that state. Otherwise, we all want sweet is my will. You say, hey, I want this, and it'll make me happy if I get this. It'll make me happy if I get this. Make me happy I get that. But if it's not good for us, God is not going to give it to us. God knows better. Okay? So if we live by the principle, sweet is my will, we will never be happy. Because we really don't know. Because our knowledge could be tremendous. We have a PhD in God knows whatever. If we're very educated in this world, that's the highest degree you can get. You can be very knowledgeable. But still you don't know about so many other things. You're only knowledgeable in that little area that you gained expertise in. There's so much more, even in this world, and let alone the worlds beyond which we have no inkling about. Okay? But God, the Creator, who created everything, is all-knowing. God knows about our past, God knows about our present, God knows about our future. So when we leave things in God's hands, and we have faith in God, then we start to live with the principle of sweet is thy will. And when we live with the principle suited thy will, then there's no question of any thoughts of the future bothering you. So then you put them on the side. You say, I don't want to focus any attention there. And you use the present moment and focus it on being able to meditate properly, focus on fine-tuning your meditative skills. You focus on going in the spiritual journey. You want to experience the spiritual realms within. You want to be in the state of joy and peace and bliss which you've never experienced before, which will then last and last and last. Not only for the time that you meditate, but for long periods to come. So that's the key, is to use this present moment and not be focused on anything happening in the future. So let us meditate for a few minutes. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Close your eyes very gently, just like you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeballs should be straight, focus 8 or 10 inches in front of you. And those of you who've been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do your simran. And those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. This repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. I pray to God Almighty to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within, and for us to experience the divine light of God within ourselves. We'll be sitting for a few minutes, and may the grace of the three great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Sawan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj, and Dayal Prasanna Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, be with each and every one of you, and may they be guiding you towards your goal. I'll be getting out of this meditative state in a few minutes, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave off. Please leave off.